And now we're making progress. Okay, welcome. So today I want to discuss the Torah portion. One of my favorite midrashim is on this week's Torah portion of Vaera, discussing why God told Moses to tell Aaron to hit the river, and Moses shouldn't do it. So let's first look at what Rashi says on this. This would be in chapter 7, I believe. A moment. Yes. Chapter 7, verse 19. Uh, so when it was time to for the blood, the plague of the blood, Hashem said to Moses, "Say to Aaron, take your staff and stretch out your hand over the waters of Egypt, over their rivers, over their canals, over their ponds, and over all their gatherings of water, and they shall become blood, and there shall be blood in all the land of Egypt, and in the wood and in the stones." So the what was happening is whether or not the staff even touched the water, the raising of the staff would create a detriment to the water because the water was no longer life-giving. Any fish in it would instantly die. And water is a parable in nature for God's holy Torah. So water likes being water. It likes being the thing that can do kindness, and quench thirst. So so let's look at what Rashi says here. Say to Aaron, because the river protected Moses when he was cast into it, therefore it was not smitten through his hand, neither at the plague of blood, nor at the plague of frogs, but it was smitten through the hands of Aaron. Just reading the article translation to Rashi. Okay. Now the question I had was why, right? Okay. So, and Rashi said, because Moses was benefited by the river, so therefore he shouldn't be the one to strike it. So let's look at what the Medrash Rabbah says. This is on in Vaera and Parsha Tes. So in the Art Scroll edition, this would be on page 7.1. 7.1 of the Art Scroll Midrash Rabbah on Shemos. Amar Rabbi Tanchum, Lama lo laku hamayim al yedei Moshe, Amar lo HaKadosh Baruch Hu, hamayim shemaracha kishehu shlachta layor eno din sheyilku al yadecha. Rabbi Tanchum said, why were the waters not struck by Moses? The Lord, blessed be he, said to Moses, the waters that protected you when you were cast into the river, is it not right that they should be it is not right that they should be struck by you. You could do Ella al yidei Aharon, by your life, which is like a vow. They will not be struck except by Aaron. Okay. Art School goes into discussion about gratitude and quotes Rabbi Chaim Shmulevitz, etc. Okay, so I had a question on this medrash, right? When Moses was saved by the water, right? What happened to the water? It flowed out to the sea. Remember, the Nile goes out into the outlets into the Mediterranean Sea. So the water that saved Moses is no longer there. So what are we discussing here? What's the secret of this medrash? Now, in Psalm 36, it says, "Ba'orecha nera," or in your light we see light. So sometimes there's certain parts of the Torah, and sometimes certain parts of the oral Torah that the hidden light is even brighter than the external light. Now we see from this, of course, you should be anyone who did you a favor, you shouldn't be directly responsible for any downfall they have to go through, even though it's for a greater good. But in this case, logically, the water already went out to the sea, right? So therefore, how is it possible that Moses returning a favor when the water is no longer there? Okay, but now, if you want to say, for example, all water of the world is connected, from all rivers that flow into the sea, all the water is one. Okay, so the verse could have said, or the Medrash could have said water, but it says Yor, the river, right? So, and river is separate from sea or ocean. So therefore, the question seems to be a good question. Why is it that Moses is being ungrateful when the water that actually saved him is long ago flowed into the Mediterranean Sea? So it appeared to me that what is the real message here that we're teaching? So it means that the river is not the thing that saved Moses, so to speak, through God's blessing, right? God's really the one who saved him. But the river is the host of the thing that saved him. So we're learning something here about the reward of Hachnasas Orchim, of taking care of guests. So if you take care of a guest, now, in for example, let's say you open up your garage so there could be food distribution from your garage. So even if you didn't spend any money, a charity came to your garage and started to distribute food from there. It's as if you also gave out food in God's eyes. God is that generous. So relating to Pirkei Avos, Ethics of the Fathers, remember in the first chapter, the fourth Mishnah, that a person should make their house a beis va'ad l'chachamim, a gathering place for sages. So this gives us a new insight into this as well, that if you are being a host to something good, you get residual credits for that. Not only residual credits, but here in the Medrash on Parshas Vaera, we see that it's as if you did the actual great deed. The river that is not the water that saved Moses is given full credit in the philosophy behind this mimer of Rabbi Tanchum, the saying of Rabbi Tanchum. So therefore we see new insights into not only gratitude, but the extent that God rewards any aspect of gratitude and any aspect of support of a mitzvah. So whether a person hosts the distribution of charity from their house, or they host a Torah lecture by rabbis coming over to their house, beis va'ad l'chachamim, like Pargios, they are a partner in the mitzvah, and they're considered apparently by God as an equal partner, even though all they did was let the rabbi visit, and the rabbi did all the preparations for the class, right? Just letting their house be a beis va'ad l'chachamim is deserving of full credit as if you personally taught the Torah class. So just the amazing generosity of God and the distance he desires humans to go from ingratitude is amazing. And I think it's much deeper than one would think, just at the initial surface level discussion of this medrash. Thank you. Any questions? Any questions, comments? All right.
I'm just thinking that maybe
Mm-hmm.
the vessel, because the human body is a vessel and we must elevate in righteousness and spirituality, all of that kind of intercorrelates with what you were just talking about.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, and it's just it's just amazing how God has such refined character traits and how he is willing to share mitzvos. A person who has no Torah knowledge, they open up their house so a rabbi could teach in their house. Now they're getting a share as if they were a great Torah scholar too, and for the duration of the how much they're hosting. Now imagine also, for example, let's say you have a social media page. What if you post links to Torah classes on your social media page? So now, according to this concept we're discussing, it makes sense that you're rewarded as if you taught the Torah class, right? That you're posting to your page.
Oh.
But from this also we
Wow.
have
So
right.
Rabbi, am I getting credit for all your teachings?
I was getting to that. Yes.
Okay.
So I want us to all appreciate the great things that Russell and Teresa and have been doing with this class. We have over 150 videos already on this channel, and now with a new channel with Brad Mace. He's producing my podcast channel. And all the people I just mentioned now they're all B'nai Noach. So it's not just Jews who are interested in this, and not just Jews who are acquiring this merit. And I think it's a good challenge. I just mentioned these righteous B'nai Noach. They're getting these huge amounts of mitzvahs as if they themselves were a rabbi teaching a class. And if a Jew is watching this, I hope you're getting jealous, and I hope you want to do something like this too. So starting with get a kosher Torah class and share it on your social media profile. That's a recommendation. Start with that, and then if you see that you got one like in 5 years, so maybe you want to like start a social media group or something. Whether anything, what's Facebook, WhatsApp.
So
There's
does
so
that
many.
mean you're rectifying that part of the internet?
Right, rectifying internet, but most importantly, you're creating yourself the equivalent merit as if you had gone to rabbi school and studied all that stuff that was taught for the duration that you're hosting them.
Wow.
You post a 5-minute video, so you potentially, again, only if people are actually studying from what you're doing, you could get 5 minutes of Torah merit if somebody actually clicks on it and watches it. Not they click in it and then they're doing dishes so loud they're not even listening. So just because you get a lot of clicks doesn't automatically mean you got all these super righteous deeds done. But I'm saying it's a good place to be in if you're on social media anyway. Why not use it for merit, right? So,
Hallelujah.
yeah. Now, when the internet first came out, the rabbis were saying avoid the internet where possible. And then when I saw that some rabbis started to teach on the internet, so then I would start to advertise, the ways to learn more Torah, or links, not just for me. I would personally share Torah links before I started to produce Torah links myself. And then when you do that, so what I said in my recruitment email. I said, if you're on social media already, or if you're on, for example, Facebook already, I'm teaching a class there. So therefore, I try to not violate any rabbi's opinion about avoiding and encourage people to go to the internet. But if they're already there, they shouldn't be wasting their time. They should have some Torah opportunities and use it for merit. And then what we saw, God kind of made an innovation in the world during the virus in 2019, 2020, 2021, where suddenly there was a plethora of rabbis starting to teach online. So that's become normalized, and there's no longer a consistent opinions written about avoiding the internet. Just don't give your teenage child a smartphone. That's the current thing. But all right, so I think this is a great source of merit. Everyone should participate in it, and it's all implicit, I think, here in the Medrash Rabbah. And That's why it was good to go into the actual full language of the Medrash, not just if you compare the Medrash Rabbah and what Rashi says. Rashi's really adapting it. It's not a precise quote. So it's good to understand the parameters. All right, very good. Thank you very much for learning with me. And now we're going to try to do